Hi everyone, my name's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a massive book haul. I have not done a book haul since I believe like the end of last year, and so I have all of the gifts I got for my birthday and for the holidays, as well as some pre-orders I've gotten. So I have 5 huge stacks next to me. So I will not be going into synopsises of all these books. I will just be going through what I've gotten and what I've read and what I haven't, because some of these are books that I love that I just didn't own that were gifted to me. So without further ado, let's just get into it so this video isn't an hour long. First up, I have the Gentleman Bastard series. The Lies of Locke Lamora was gifted to me by Venus over on Venus Escapes to Read. And then my stepmom and my dad got me the other two. So I have these really cute small hardbacks. They're really cute editions. I only had mass market paperbacks, so these I am very excited to own. They are adorable and I want to reread this series soon. Next up, I have The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. This is a book I haven't read yet. I know it's a sci-fi book. I read The Spear Cuts Through Water last year, I believe, and absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to get to this one. I got this one on sale on Book Outlet. So yeah, super excited to read this one soon. Next up, I have Dead House Gates by Stephen Erickson. I got this one for my birthday. My mom got it for me. She took me to Barnes & Noble while she was visiting, and I got a bunch of books, and this is one of them. I am co-hosting a read-along for the Malazan Book of the Fallen series with Alex from Tall Guy Reads, Ian from Ian the Reader, and Josh from Red Fury Books. So this is the last one I just read. I finished it at the beginning of this month. Excited to continue with this series. I don't know if I will ever own the whole series just because it's near impossible to find matching editions, but I like these floppy trade paperbacks, so there you go. Next up is The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. This was also a gift from my mom. A lot of these are gifts from family, so be ready for that. But this is one of the 12 books recommended to me by 12 booktubers. This one was recommended to me by Petrick. I believe I've joined a buddy read with a bunch of people over on the Grimoire Discord in April, so I will be reading this next month. Super excited. It has a beautiful cover, and it's a lot bigger than I was expecting, but I'm still really excited to read it because I've heard great things about it. Next up is the second one on this list that I've purchased for myself, and that is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. This was a pre-order that just came out this month, I believe. I'm currently listening to it on audiobook, and I'm about 30% in, and I'm already loving the vibes. I'm already loving Amina as a character and what's happened so far, and I can tell I'm going to love this book. Also, the cover is so pretty. So yeah, I already knew I would probably like this book because I like Shannon Chakraborty's other series, the Davabad trilogy. So I am super excited to read this. Next up, I have Middle Game and Seasonal Fears by Shauna McGuire. These are part of like a duology. I got myself Seasonal Fears from a Book Outlet sale, and then my mom got me Middle Game. So I have read Middle Game. I haven't read Seasonal Fears. Middle Game was phenomenal. I had no idea what it was about going into it, and I ended up loving it so much. So I'm super excited to read Seasonal Fears when I get around to it, hoping to get around to that sooner than later. But yeah, really, really loving this series. Next up is a book I bought for myself, and that is The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 4th and final book in the 2nd era of Mistborn, and I really loved this book. I have read it. It's actually the only Mistborn book I own so far, so I'm hoping to fill out that collection eventually, but I really liked this series. I thought it was so much fun, and I think this ending was a lot of fun with a lot of Cosmere tie-ins, so overall, loved this book. Next up, I have the entire Greenbone saga. This was a gift from my stepmom. I sent my stepmom and my dad my Amazon wish list for my birthday, and my stepmom has just been like randomly sending me books from it, so that is super awesome, and I have a lot of these books are from her, so thank you to my stepmom for a bunch of these. But she bought me all of these, one of my favorite series. I just recently did my top 10 fantasy series, and this was the only one on that list that I didn't own, and now I own it. So this is, like I said, one of my favorite series of all time, and I'm very glad to own the entire trilogy now. Next up is another gift from my stepmom, and that is The Grey House by Mariam Petrosian. I'm probably butchering that. This is one of the books I talked about on my book on my translated sci-fi fantasy TBR video. This is translated from, I'm not totally sure actually, I don't remember what language this is translated from, but it is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. However, I'm really excited to read it. I think it'll be a lot of fun based on the whole premise of it, so excited to read this. Next book is Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. This is a physical arc I got from the publisher. This book is not out yet, and I'm hoping to read it hopefully in the next couple weeks because it's tiny, and I'm so excited because it's Fonda Lee. So super excited to read this in the next couple weeks. Next up, I have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is part of the Kickstarter. I backed this last year, and this is the first book. I'm sure if you are on BookTube for any amount of time, you know this exists. But this is the special edition, leather-bound, hardcover, stunning edition of this book, and this is honestly probably my top 3 Cosmere books of all time at this point. Some of the art is just absolutely beautiful in here, and the quality of this book is beautiful, and it's just all done so well. And I loved this book, and I'm so excited to reread it in the future because it is everything I love in fantasy in one book. And I think Brandon Sanderson did an incredible job of writing from a different perspective than he normally does. Overall, a really fun book, and probably the most beautiful book I own. I don't own any other special editions, so probably the most beautiful book I own. Next up is a Christmas gift from my dad. When I visited my dad for Christmas, he took me to a used bookstore and just said, go wild. So I got the first 2 omnibus books of The Legend of Drizzt. So this is the first 6 novels in the Legend of Drizzt series, which is set in the D&D world of the Forgotten Realms. And I've read the first one, Homeland, and really loved it, and I'm really excited to continue. They're like very classic, tropey fantasy that are just really fun to read. They're everything that fantasy is, and I'm so excited to continue with this series. And I now have these 2 chunky omnibus editions, and they're really cool. Next up, I have another gift from my stepmom, and that is The Cube by Basma Abdel Aziz. This is another of the translated fantasy books from my TBR video I did, and this one I believe is more like, it's like kind of fantasy, kind of dystopian kind of thing, but I'm excited to read this. It's also pretty small, so I'm hoping to get to it sooner rather than later. So yeah, thanks to my stepmom. Another gift from my stepmom. A lot of these are from my stepmom. The Body of the Beast by Audrey Wilhelmy. This is translated from French. This one sounds like I will either love it or hate it, so we'll see. But it's also small, so I'm hoping to read it again sooner rather than later. But I'm really excited to get to it, and I really like this cover a lot. So thanks to my stepmom. Next, also from my stepmom, I have books 2 through 4 of the Great Cloak series. The first one, it wouldn't let her send it to me for whatever reason. So she got me 2 through 4, and I will get the first one eventually. I didn't realize that my Amazon wishlist had mixed-matched editions, but that's okay. It's all right. I still think they look really cool. They're really dope. So I'm excited to read this series. I've heard pretty good things about it, and I want to start it soon. So yeah, I own 2 through 4. Next, also from my stepmom, I have books 1 through 3 of the Riria Revelations. Actually, I think Theft of Swords I got in that shopping trip I did with my dad over Christmas, but then the next 2 my stepmom got me. So yeah, I really want to start this soon because I've read the Legends. I've read the super prequel series, the Legends. I can't remember what it's called, but I really want to get to this soon because I loved that series, and Michael J. Sullivan is such a good author. So I'm super excited to get to this because I've heard this is the best of them. Next up is a pre-order, and that is Ashes of Man by Christopher Rocchio. This is the 5th book in the Sun Eater series. This has quickly become one of my favorite sci-fi series of all time, and this book was very good. I liked it a whole lot. I read the arc of it, and I'm super excited for what's to come in this series. I know that we're gonna have to wait a little bit because of some of the drama that went on, but I'm still very excited to read this, and I think the covers are stunning. Next up is another gift from my mom, and that is Never Die by Rob J. Hayes. This is something I just read in February. This is one of the 12 books recommended to me by 12 booktubers. This was recommended to me by Ian over on Ian the Reader, and I loved this book. It was a lot of fun. It's short. It is kind of dark, but it was written so well. It's very atmospheric, and the characters are really fun to follow. So I really liked this book and I'm excited to continue on with the series. Next up is a very, very, very heavy book, and that is all of the Books of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. This was a gift to me from Alex over on Tall Guy Reads for Christmas, I believe. Yeah, this was a Christmas gift. And this is the illustrated edition. It's like a full collection of all of the Books of Earthsea, and this is just stunning. If you followed my booktube channel at all, you know how much I absolutely love dragons. So like, look at this cover. Yes, please. So yeah, I haven't read any of this yet, so I'm super excited to get to this year. And I'm gonna put it down now because it's super heavy. In my last book haul, I had the first book of The Lord of the Rings, and I have since gotten the second and third. I believe I got these for myself. I think I bought these. But I love these editions so much. I'm hoping to read The Two Towers within the next month or two. I just have so many big books lined up, but really hoping to get to these in the next month or two because I really, really liked Fellowship of the Ring. So yeah, I love these editions and excited to continue. Next up is a gift from my stepmom and my dad again, and that is Gideon and Harrow. I only owned the paperbacks of these and I lent them to a coworker a while ago, and I don't know if or when she will be reading them. So I also just wanted hardcover editions. So now I own all of the books that are out in hardcover. I will not go into how much I love this series because you can watch literally any other video on my channel and I'll talk about the lock too. Next up, I believe these were all gifts from my mom, or maybe some of them I bought and some of them she bought. I don't remember. But the first three of the Stormlight Archive. I owned Rhythm of War because I had that one pre-ordered, but these three I only owned in mass market paperback. So I now own the full set in hardcover, and I absolutely love how they look on my shelves, and they're huge, and I love this series a lot. If the camera angle looks like it just changed, it's because it did. I definitely hit my phone stand with those chunky books. So anyway, let's continue. I'm sorry if it looks crooked, I tried to fix it. Next up, I have volumes 1 and 2 of Haikyuu, the manga. I got these for $1 at Goodwill. I bought these for my husband because I thought he would like them because he loves this anime, and he was like, I've already read those, so now I have to read them. But I don't know how much I will love like a sports manga or anime, but I am willing to try it now that I own it. But these are only $2, so excited for these. Next up, I have the entire Farseer trilogy in the illustrated editions. I know that some of these were given to me by my stepmom, but I think Assassin's Apprentice I bought. I don't remember, but I have all of these. Actually, I think my mom bought Assassin's Apprentice, and then my dad and my stepmom bought me the second two. But yeah, so love these editions. They're really beautiful. They look really nice on my shelves, and I only own this series in mass market paperback, so excited to own these beautiful editions. Next up, I have books 2 and 3 of the Three Body Problem series by Cixin Liu. I already owned the first one, and so these next two just finished out the series. I don't remember who got these for me. It might have been me. I might have gotten these. I don't remember. Somebody got these for me. But now my series is complete, and I am definitely reading at least the first one this year because it is one of the 12 books recommended to me by 12 booktubers. And these were recommended to me by Alex over on Tall Guy Reads. Next up is another stepmom gift, and that is Hybrid Child by Mariko Ohara. This is another of the translated sci-fi fantasy books I want to read. And I really love this cover. This is a sci-fi book translated from Japanese, and I'm super excited to get to it, and I think that it's like a perfect floppy paperback, and the cover's pretty. I think this will be very nice to read. Next up is a book I bought for myself, and that is Wild Seed by Octavia E. Butler. I just recently read Kindred by her and absolutely loved it. I've also read Parable of the Sower, so excited to get to this series. This is the Patternist series. I think that Octavia E. Butler is a phenomenal science fiction writer, and I am super excited to get to this series as well. Speaking of Kindred, I have this 25th anniversary edition hardcover. This was a gift to me from Alex over on Tall Guy Reads for my birthday, and I just read this book. Literally, I finished it like a couple days ago, and I flew through it because it was absolutely captivating, and this book should be required reading in schools. I know that in a lot of states it wouldn't be, but I think it is a very important book to read. It is so beautifully written, and I'll talk more about it in my wrap up, but I could go on and on about how good this book is and how well crafted it is. Next up, I have Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. This is an a book I read recently and I absolutely loved it and I had to own it. It is like a very strange, slow-paced sci-fi romance book that I think is just absolutely stunningly written, and by the end I was like weeping, and it's tiny, and I was like so sad at the end, just the way it was written, and I could see myself rereading this over and over. Next up, I have Sorrowland by River Solomon. This is one of the 12 books recommended to me by 12 booktubers. This is a gift to me from Allie over on Allie Do Is Read. This was recommended to me by Angela over on Literature Science Lines, and I'm so excited to read this. I honestly don't know a whole lot about it, but this cover is absolutely beautiful, and I'm super pumped to get to it. Next up was a pre-order, and that is The Adventure Zone, The 11th Hour. This is the 5th volume in the graphic novel collection of their D&D campaign Balance from the podcast The Adventure Zone. I have praised this series and this podcast so much on my channel, so I won't get too far into it now, but I absolutely love this D&D actual play podcast, and I love these graphic novel adaptations, and this one just came out and it was beautiful. Next up, I have We Ride the Storm by Devin Madsen. This was a gift to me from Kyle over on Read by Kyle, and I'm super excited to get to this. It is, again, beautiful floppy paperback. Orbit knows what they're doing with their paperbacks, and this cover is really cool. Super excited to get to this soon. Thank you, Kyle. Next up, both of these are gifted to me from Allie, who is a friend from Bookstagram. She does not have a YouTube, but she's great. And the first one is Empire of Sand by Tasha Suri. I've read one of Tasha Suri's books and I liked it, so I'm excited to get to this one. I've heard good things about it, and yeah, so thank you, Allie. And last but not least, on my giant book haul, also from Allie, is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. This is a self-published fantasy romance book that I've seen a lot of people on Bookstagram talking about. I haven't really seen anyone on BookTube talking about it. I don't read a lot of fantasy romance anymore, but not because I don't like it, it's just not, it hasn't been my priority. So I'm excited to get to this to see if it still works for me and if this specifically works for me. But yeah, I'm excited to read this, so thank you, Allie, for the gift. And that is all of the books I've gotten in the past few months. As you can see, not many of these I bought for myself, so I am forever grateful to all of my BookTube friends that got me gifts, all of my family that got me gifts. It means absolutely so much to me. Books are the perfect gift for me. I love getting books as gift. I love having my bookshelves something I can look at all the time and just like love. So really happy with this book haul. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your support. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below if I should prioritize any of these that I haven't read yet, and if you've read them and loved them. If you really like my content, please hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post new videos. I also now have a Patreon. I have that announced in the last video I posted that I will link below. But if you are interested in supporting me on Patreon, there are some cool perks you can get, some exclusive content, some exclusive benefits that you get. So check that out if you're interested. The link for that is also down below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, your support means the world to me. And until next time, thank you guys.
Thank you.